Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is a Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. If you are watching the VODs on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/Otaku Showboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links below the video, including supporting Pyandon's mods development at patreon.com/pyandon, and myself at patreon.com/otaku showboat. So, stuff and things. I'm still running on 1822 at the moment, but I know that as soon as I close the game to do a restart or anything, Steam is going to want to auto update to 1824. Yeah, let's just ignore that 1823 actually happened this morning. We are now officially, the most recent release is 1824, and it is out. It is live, and the patch notes for it is fixed 1823. That's the patch notes on 1824. It is very simple. It is fixed 1823. Because something somewhere was broken. Some definition of what version the game was versus the version of the base mod broke. Something broke. The game for some reason thought it was version uh hex FFFF or 65,535. Something like that. The 655 something something something. What is that number again? It's 65535. Yeah, that's the thing. So the game thought the executable version, its actual version, was just 4 Fs of hex code in decimal, when it should have said 23 to match base mod version 23. But yeah, that's fixed now, I guess. It's 24, but I'm not playing on 24 because that all got pushed minutes ago. So we have tech. Obviously here we have microbiology stage 3 has happened between last time and this time. It has finished. So what's next? I think I was just going to go top to bottom, whatever is available to take next, and just go down the list, because there's nothing of immediate importance, of immediate necessary importance. Maybe graphene? In all seriousness, I think this is the next, one of the earlier things, because I sort of need to go and do these things. I sort of need dimethyl dichlorosilane at some point, I suppose. Let's see. Question from Bobblybook. What part of these games of modded Factorio, modded MC, etc. do I prefer? What's MC? Like the early game struggle, the late game logistics, production line design. You like the early game struggle, but everyone seems to hate it. I mean, I don't really like the early game of Factorio. I mean, I think that early game Factorio, just even unmodded, and the vast majority of the mods as well, are terrible. It's an awful experience, and no developer should literally have to tell people to just keep playing to get to the good part. It should start in the good part. It should not take hours to get to the good part of your game. If you are a new player to Factorio and are turned off by the slowness of the early game, even completely unmodded, within the first hour or two, and you find that you're not enjoying it, you have every right to immediately stop playing. And if you're within the amount of time on Steam to request a refund, you have every right to request a refund. So, yeah, it's not well designed in the early game. Just straight, not well designed. The later parts of the game are much more enjoyable when there's more stuff to do rather than sit around and wait for things to happen. That is the one biggest thing that needs to be avoided, is just sitting and waiting for things to happen. And that can happen for new players, especially in the early game. The vast majority of the time. Most people, the average player, quote unquote, coming in fresh, is going to not exactly know the things that they can do, that they should do to prep for future stuff, and they'll end up just sitting and waiting on a slow process, and that can be boring. That could be very boring. And then a lot of mod overhauls for Factorio end up just extending the early game for no real good reason at all, outside of let's just make it harder by making it longer. As if that's a good idea at all. At least with the Pi Suite in particular, there is generally other things that you can do, and there's things that you should do. You know, like farming all the trees on, like, chop every single tree you could possibly find ever. If you're sitting and waiting for something, chop trees. You need that wood. Chop trees. You need it. Chop trees, break stones, if you have stones. But and then with Pi Alien Life and the extension of Red Science in particular, that gives a whole bunch more stuff that you can do in the early game. That it's more things to think about, more processes to do early, and I enjoy that particular part. It's just base vanilla playthrough, a number of the other mod overhauls. It's just slow, and it feels like you're just sitting and waiting around on things to happen. Well, the first third of the game now after burner phase, once you hit electricity, things start picking up, and it gets very much enjoyable after you hit electricity and initial automation. Like, once you get to the point where you are setting up a main bus or whatever you want to do for automation in the early game, your belt getty or whatever, that's when the game starts picking up and it starts getting enjoyable. More enjoyable than burner phase. I think that the burner phase is just terrible and it should be just eliminated. It's not necessary at all to exist in the first place. Just start with electricity and go from there. Let people start with automation. Don't force people into the hammering of stuff from the start. That is not enjoyable in the slightest, and it is the first thing that a new player will experience in a free play game. And if people get turned off by that, they have every right to be turned off by that. Just straight up. Not everyone has the patience to get through that part of the game. Even though, in vanilla, that part of the game, that burner phase, to an experienced player lasts about 20 to 30 minutes. It is literally a 20 to 30 minute experience in an 80+ hour playthrough. At times, I mean, you can totally launch a rocket within 3 hours, but yeah, about that. See, definitely within 8. I mean, there's an achievement for within 8, right? So it's possible. It's a very small part of the game, but it's the first thing that many people experience, and yeah, it makes me not want to restart playthroughs. Can you think of it as well? How many times you have restarted a playthrough and had to replay the early game? Like, I'm pretty sure that number is pretty high for most people. Also, where the heck am I going to actually build this? I have bedding. I have bedding to build on this day, and I need to decide where to build the bedding. I guess I'm building it here. I mean, even though it is a very short part of the experience in that burner phase, it is an experience that gets experienced many, many times. And if it's not particularly compelling, why does it exist? This is my point with the concerning the early game in particular. Now the rest of the game is fine. It is, and it just keeps it getting better the more stuff that you have available to you. You know, sort of like the pie suite just keeps growing and growing and growing all the way to the very end. There's just more and more stuff available to you at any given time. And the fact that the individual processes themselves are slow gets is balanced by the fact that there are many processes to perform, many things to do and set up that even though one process is slow, once you've set it up, by the time you get back to get to the point where you need it later on, you'll have like stockpiles of stuff already set. So it does have some inherent balance in its complexity to offset some of the slowness. Now, I need a train station that will be set up right about here. Right about here. So today, we're doing betting. What did we do last time? Just to cover, review, have our little review session here. Which of this is the entrance? And what? Oh, there it is. There's that excess signal. So last time I did Vrauk cocoons and got that all set up. It was done here, actually, right next door to where I currently am standing. We have our Vrauk cocoons being produced, a whole up to 1 per second if I had enough modules for it. Proper modules for it as planned, but it'll be fine. We'll be okay. For the moment. It's not like I'm completely insufficient on the amount of fiber that I'll need to bring in as well, so yeah. Just because I don't have enough sugar for the fiber here. Hello! Welcome. Was just answering a question about what aspects of the game I prefer, and spent the vast majority of the time talking about how bad the early game is. Just just conceptually why it's not the strongest part of the game. Why I feel that a lot of the burner phase in particular is completely superfluous and not actually required to the enjoyment of the game. And since it's the very first thing people experience, maybe it's not such a good idea to have it exist. Because it just turns people off. Alright, this train station is going to need a lot of stuff. I need to make sure that I change the names here to blah blah blah. Yes, this is train station blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Just to get the names off and different. And it will start. Should I have this here? Leave this here as it is. They can be the bedding at the end. I guess. Alright, I need the inputs. Hello, inputs. I want the everything, but not the... I need the... There's no way to grab the signal without also grabbing the station, and what's gonna end up happening is it will copy the station name. Unless I do an actual blueprint and I get rid of station names. So there's a little tick mark here on including station names that you should always be sure to place and then save the blueprint if doing stuff with train stations where you don't want the station names. Like this instance, where I don't want it to paste over the station name from here. So if I do that, and I click on this, it should retain the name. If I didn't have that tick mark ticked, if I tried to paste this down, it would have overridden the station name of the station that already exists. Just one of those things about the mechanics of this game. One of those really little things that, again, is never really explained. Hello, Immortal. What did you miss? You missed a, You missed me talking about the weaknesses of the early game. Again. This is not the first time I've talked about the early game, and how I dislike the vanilla early game experience, but I think it's one of the better explanations of why I have distaste for the early game. One of the better expressions of why this time. But yeah, I mean, outside of just saying, hey, we're still on 1822 because 23 was broken and they just pushed 24, and I don't even know if the changes that they made with 23/24 break the mods I'm using at this point. I don't even know if stuff breaks because of it. I don't think so, but you never know. So I'm still on 22 for the moment. For this moment in time. But yeah, 23 was just broken. It was just broken. I am glad that I did not actually start attempting to play on 23. Just watching some stuff here. What do I want to make note of? So last time I finished, of course, the Sprout Cocoons, and today we're doing bedding. And this will be the bedding station. I need a couple more. I think. How many? What's the actual count here of the thingies I need? Oh yeah, I need wood as well to be brought in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 input train stations. I'm not carrying around any cages, am I? Oops. So that should be that. Just add 2 more. And, you know, get rid of whatever, like, sharing of things. I don't need that shared for the moment. I might want it shared, but not right this second. That'll be the bedding. Hello there, you are bedding station 2. Why is this bedding station 2? Because this is bedding station the first, which I apparently just called bedding station rather than bedding station 1. And this is a bedding depot 2. Because again, the other one should be bedding depot the first. Yes, betting depot 1 is all the way over here. It might not exist for very much longer, but it currently exists. And the rest of these, this will be... Oh, I don't think I am bringing in this... I am doing wood, so I can't just call this betting wood. I need it to be betting 2 wood. Betting 2. I guess this will be Yotoi. Betting 2 Grod. Betting 2 Fiber. And betting 2 Vrauk Cocoons. That should be that for this particular build. And once I get through this build, by the way, we will be moving on into cotton guts. We will finally be actually building our cotton guts today. At least working on building the cotton guts today. Holla freaking Luya. It is about time. Like, how many streams have I had my stream title be The Path to Cotton Guts? I'm pretty sure it's been about 3 weeks worth of streams. Something like that, or a month or so. On the path to Cotton Guts. It's a long path to get to the Cotton Guts. A very long path. Okay. Where to begin? Always a great question. I guess I'll start with the production of the formic acid from Vrauk. So that's going to be 4 of these beautiful Mark II creature chambers. Oh yeah, I've sort of unlocked the ability to make these things, but I need other stuff for them first. Long path. Yes. Yes. Long path to the Cotton Guts. Very, very long path. Vrauk, wherefore art thou? Caged Vrauk, right about... Where are you? Ulrich? Muckmo, there you are. That's the one. Be careful with the drone. Yes, I saw that crash. By the way, King, I got a comment on one of my videos about the caravan. Someone has managed to get an error with the caravan again. I told them to report it on the forum or on the community Discord, but yeah, there was someone had a game error again with those. Because of course someone would continue to have errors with caravans. They first asked where the control device was. You see behind me, all the way over right here, this here behind my microphone. Yeah, you see right here is this tiny little button that is 3 vertically aligned dots. That gives you this menu of extra stuff to put onto the toolbar, including the AUG control device, which I should probably, like... Why can I not? Cannot dock more items to the shortcut bar, but the shortcut bar has 2 extra slots on it. What? So the shortcut bar has these two extra spaces that are like behind me on the screen. They're right here, and you can't assign anything to them. That's a little weird. Anyway, check the total of toggled items. There's 12. Maybe they're not unlocked yet. I don't know. There's 12 things. There's 12 listed here, but there's 14 spaces underneath. There's 12 things ticked here, but there's 14 spaces. Yeah, that's just dumb. So there's 12 ticked items on this checklist, but 14 spaces for things, and it's not letting me tick 2 more things. That's dumb. What did you miss in the last 5 streams? A bit. Last 5 streams. Oh boy. Okay, so we have Corlex into raw fiber. We have the Tufra sugar for the raw fiber. We have the Grod and the Route cocoons. We have Grod setup and Route cocoons. We have wood. We have Yotoy. Yotoy got built. Fixes updates to module slot counts on a number of things. And today we're doing betting. I think it's slightly more than 5 streams. I'm lagging a lot. I am sure that that's just the FPS stuff as I scroll around. A combination of the bitrate I stream at, as well as the game just hitching as I go place to place. But I'm not dropping frames. Not today. 0 dropped frames today with my 4500-ish kilobit per second bitrate. So, today we are going to be growing Vrauk cocoons into Vrauk, cage Vrauk. This will be a closed system that will then need 7 slaughterhouses. Making some beautiful 450 formic acid each. And it will return exactly the same amount of cages as the cages in. So it is a closed cage system. Cages will just come in and it'll be wonderful, glorious. They'll come in like that. The cage rock will come out. Excuse me, they will come out, not come out, which is a completely different creature entirely. Now, I can reduce the spacing on this a little bit. Just a tad, yeah. May as well keep things as compact as possible. Or as much as I feel like making them compact. There we go, that's those. Right, there's only 4 there. And then these need an output as well. Solid output for those cages. And pipe! Lots of pipe. Beautiful, glorious, wonderful pipe. Let's not forget to do things at least semi-efficiently. How's this distance? Eh. I don't tend to do this here, but these are big enough buildings that I think it's sort of worth doing it like that. That saves on individual belt segments. Overall. Whoops. There we go. That's better. Yeah, better than Immortal being one short with his belts. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that image. It's like, oh, good luck having those two buildings next to each other like that. One tile short. That was blue undergrounds with Muckmo farms. Was that Muckmo that I saw? Which building? Yeah, that was trying to put a blue belt across two Muckmos. Blue undergrounds. That didn't quite work. It was off by one tile. Just one tile too short. But now that I know this, like now that I and everyone knows this, that two Muckmo farms next to each other are one tile too big for the blues. Muckmo are sort of the biggest building that exist right now, right? Like these are the biggest building that exists right now. I'm pretty sure. These are what, 16 by 16 or something like that. What are these again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not for too long. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15. So they are 15 by 15. Because I can't count. They are 15 by 15. They are currently one of the biggest. But not for too long. So there apparently is going to be a building that is bigger than 15 by 15 on this. So apparently there's going to be something bigger than 15 by 15. But having two 15 by 15s next to each other is not quite enough length for the blue underground. So the blue underground must have a max length of 30, which means that it is a gap of 29, right? Yeah, you always remember that the displayed value on the belts is always going to be one tile less for the amount of actual gap that you have, because it includes the end for some reason. It is exactly 30 tiles away from the initial underground. That is the output. So you still need that space for the output at the end of that 30 tiles, which means the gap is 29. Where are you? Here. It is 30! Max length 30! Hey, there we go. Max length 30, so the gap is 29. Nice idea involving a big building. Great. How big of a building? Is it going to be a 30 by 30? That would be a big building. I think this actually is even bigger than a rocket silo. Yeah, pretty sure that's bigger. But these are things that I won't have to worry about because I have the Ultimate Belt mod installed. And the Ultimate Belt mod, as I go back to Logistics 3 and look at this one, it'll start with a max length 30 on this first upgrade, but then it'll go max length 35, then 40, 45, 50, 50. I have up to max length 50, but these are incredibly expensive. These are incredibly expensive thingies. Thinking about doohickeys. I'll try to make them. I will make the attempt. Alright, so there's the Vrauk. Done-ish. Just input the thingies, the cocoons, and have whatever amount of the cages that I need in here. The next step is probably to make the leaves out of 13 automated factories. 1875, this is going to be 2 sides, and it's probably going to be 14 rather than 13. Just gonna throw that concept out there. I'm not gonna really bother too much with the power on this one. This is pretty simple. 6, 12, 14. There we go. And these will make leaves. I built on the ore patch. I did. I did build on the ore patch that I have no intention of actually using. I would like to have an update to literally any mod that lets me delete ores. I would like to have an updated version of any mod that lets me delete ores. Like the mod that I have right now, the ore eraser. See, the ore eraser, the actual ore eraser thing exists, right? It exists. Oh. I need to, like, search chests at some point, because I might actually have that planner somewhere. Not in my logistic network, but somewhere, like, near the start of my bus, maybe I might have that planner stuck somewhere. If not, oh well. Everything will be fine. I would think it would be in one of these 2 chests that I have here, but I don't see it. But yeah, that ore eraser thing, it counts as an item. If you stick it in your inventory, you can't delete it. Now, I could console command give myself that thingy. Potentially. Use a command to get, yeah, the thingy. Or update the mod. No, no, that would require a little bit more work for updating ore eraser. That would require a little bit more work. I would need to figure out how to assign that planner to this list. That's how to fix that mod, by the way. You have to assign the planner to live in this list somewhere, to be added onto this list. I don't know how this list is defined, but it's like it needs to live here and not try to live in here anymore, because right now it's trying to live in here, but this doesn't exist anymore. Yes, you did it with the OG controller. I know. But now we need to do it with ore eraser, so that I can actually have that thing exist and be able to delete ores. Download it from it hasn't been updated yet. for version 18. It has not been updated for version 18 for this particular mod. There is likely another mod that I can find that works in 18. I just have to go find it at some point, and I'm not doing that right now.